guys, this is just gonna be like, I don't know, like a chatty, get ready with me. Like, it's not like a makeup tutorial or anything like that. I'm just getting ready to go out, and I thought I would just talk to you guys for a little bit just to catch up. So, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So, tonight, John and I are going to the movies. We are going to see Murder on the Orient Express. It's that Agatha Christie movie. And it stars, well, it doesn't star, but the main character in that movie is Hercule Poirot. I really can't find any of my stuff, so I think it's downstairs, and I don't feel like going down there, so I'm just gonna use whatever I have. So anyways, yeah, so I watched the Poirot series. It's like, you know, like, it's like a mystery with, I've watched all of them, but my favorite actor who plays Poirot is David Suchet. And if you haven't seen it, check it out. So I'm excited to go see that. My sister is going to be babysitting Valerius so that John and I can go. And along with that, we'll probably get like dinner beforehand. So what else is going on? Oh, not to be like a pain or anything like that, but I did make that video about that anxiety independent film that I'm going to be in. And I know some of you said that you would like to donate some money. It's like the lowest amount you can do is like just $10. So it's like, you know, if you just want to do something like that, that would be great. But I think it's going to be closing in a month. So I know some of you had said that you wanted to donate. So if you're going to do that, then I would recommend doing that sometime soon before the thing closes. And yeah, I don't know. We're like nowhere near our goal. I think we've reached like maybe like not even like 20%. I think it's like 17% of the goal. I don't know. It sucks. I mean, it sucks asking people for money. But if it was, you know, it's not like it's something stupid like, I want to go on vacation. Can you give me some money? Like, I want to buy new clothes. Can you give me some money? It's not like that. It's like talking about a serious subject about anxiety. So yeah, if you guys could just donate, that would be much appreciated. And I will put the link below again for the Indiegogo page if you are interested in doing that, and it would be much appreciated. And then, let's see, what else is going on? So we recently had some trees cut down, because we live in like an area where there's like tons of trees, and in front of our house, it was like really like, just like the trees were just like too much. And we had like tons of shade, like no sun was coming in, so we had like tons of moss and stuff like everywhere, and it was just gross. So we decided to have some trees cut down. So my father actually knew this guy that he had worked with before. Like, this guy has this company who had cut trees down for my father. And my father was like, oh, like, I'll have him meet like at my house, and my father was going to go over with him which trees we wanted cut down, because my husband had told my father, like, I want these certain trees cut down. So the guy came over, and my father met up with him, and they wrote down, he pointed out what trees, he wrote them down on his list to be cut down. We got an estimate for how much it was going to cost. Fine, whatever. So then the guy was like, you know, I can come in like a month and come do the work. Okay, cool. So the time came, and my husband was working that day. So I was home with the baby, and my father came over to kind of supervise the work. So it was like, you know, a whole crew of like people came with like, you know, big trucks and everything like that. So first thing they do is like they set down like these huge planks of wood, because they're going to have to drive over the grass out back and out front too, in order to get to the trees. So they put the planks of wood down and drive over it so it doesn't leave deep grooves in the grass and stuff. So what did they do? They put the planks of wood down and they drove beside them. They didn't even drive on them. They drove beside them. Idiots. And then they're doing the work, blah, blah, blah. Everything seems to be going all right, I guess you could say. And then they like skipped over this tree that was out front. It was like a pine tree that we had specifically wanted to cut down because it was rotten. And the owner of the company wasn't there, mind you. It was just like the crew and the foreman. And my father's like, you missed that tree. And the guy's like, it's not on the list. And my father's like, what are you talking about? It's not on the list. Like, I specifically want that tree cut down. And the foreman's like, well, it's not on the list, so I'm not doing it. He was like giving my father attitude. So my father's like, call the owner, have him come over, or I'll call him and I'll talk to him because I want that tree cut down. So they called the owner and he's like, oh, I'll come down there. He was at like another job or something. So he comes down, and meanwhile, I'm inside the house, like taking care of the baby, and I just happen to look out the window, and I see my father and the owner of the company, like in each other's face, like this far apart, with like their arms waving in the air like crazy. And I'm like, oh my God, there is going to be a rumble in my backyard with my father. So I go out there and they're just like screaming, and I like stood in front of them and I'm like, stop. And they wouldn't. They're just like screaming. And my father's like, he's a fucking piece of shit. And the other guy's like, your father's a fucking asshole. Like, oh, I'm like, oh my God. So I literally had to get in between them. I stood in between them because I thought one of them was going to knock the other one out. And that's all I needed. So my father's behind me, and I'm facing the owner of the company, and I was like, what is going on? And all he does is he's screaming at me like, he's like, your father wants stuff done for free. Like, he's swearing. I'm not going to swear the whole time. Your father wants stuff done for me, not stuff, he didn't say. And it's done for free, and I'm not doing it. And I'm like, well, what's going on? And he's like, he wanted this tree cut down, and it's not on the list. Do you see it on this list? And he like brings this list out. Do you see that? Do you see it on here? I'm like, I don't even know what this list is. And I was like, I don't know what you're saying. And he's like, your father wanted these like 2 pine trees cut down in front, not 3. And I'm like, okay. And I go, well, I know that was one of them. He's like, nope, he didn't tell me that one. I'm like, okay. And then my father's like standing there, like kind of like butting in, getting mad. And the guy's like, can you tell your father to stop talking? And I was like, and I turned to my father, and I call my father Papa, not Dad. And I'm like, Papa, I'm like, just go walk away. And I was like, let me just take care of this for like a little bit, because it was just they were like screaming at each other, and it was getting nowhere. So the guy's, he's like, screaming at me still. And I'm like, listen, I was like, screaming is not going to get you anywhere. Like, I don't know why you're yelling at me. Like, just talk to me and tell me what's going on. But he continued to scream. Your father wants this tree cut down. It wasn't on the list. I'm not cutting it down. So I'm like, okay. So I said, well, I understand because it's going to be more money. I'm like, we'll just pay for it. And then I'm like, and then will you cut it down? No, I'm not cutting it down. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, this guy's just being a stubborn asshole. So I'm like, all right, fine. So he goes about doing the rest of his work, blah, blah, blah. And then, I don't know, somehow I think my father went over there again and said something to him. And the guy and my father were like yelling at each other like once again. And my father goes, get your effing shit and get the hell out of here. And the guy's like, and mind you, the work's not done yet. And the guy's like, I'm finishing this work and I'm finishing it today. And I'm getting paid today. And he's like looking at me and I'm like, I never said I wasn't going to pay you. So then, whatever, my father walks away and like, he's obviously heated. So he's just like walking around, like trying not to like flip out again. And the guy's finishing the work. And then my father's like, go show him how they ruined the grass. I'm like, oh God, this guy's just gonna like flip his lid again if I go point that out to him. So I go over to the guy and I'm like, can you just look over here at the grass? And he's like, it says on the form, any minor damage that happens, we're not responsible for. I'm like, I feel like saying it's not minor damage, it's like major damage to the lawn. The lawn was literally like this. It was like huge ripples. So one of the workers, the guy's workers, was like really nice, and he's like, I'll try to fix it. He's like, I'll put the planks of wood down again, and he goes, I'll drive over them and they'll kind of like flatten it out. So I was like, all right, thank you. And then I don't know if like my father said something else, or the owner was still just annoyed, and he was like, tell your father to go in the house. I was like, I'm not gonna tell my father what to do. I'm like, he can do whatever he wants. He's like, well, it's your house. And I was like, yeah, but I have respect for my father. He goes, I have no respect for your father. I felt like being like, I don't really give a crap. When I say I was not yelling at this guy, I never once raised my voice to him. I was just talking to him, and he just continued to yell at me. So then he goes to his truck, and he brings back like these receipts with like paperwork and like checks, like uncashed checks from other customers. And he's like, see this one? This guy I took a $400 deposit from. See this one? This guy took another $400 deposit from. I didn't take a deposit from your father. And I was like, well, that's your problem. I'm like, that's the deal that you guys had. You didn't ask him for a deposit. And I'm like, I don't really care. I go, about these other people. I go, this is my house. This is what's going on here. So that's all I want to talk about. And he had nothing to say about that after I said that. And it was true. It's just like, what do I care about your other business transactions? You know? So he's just like, you know, again, he's like, your father, he shows me the bill. And it was originally like a certain price. And then he upped it $100. He's like, because your father wanted another tree cut down before this on the side that we didn't agree on. And I was like, okay, so it's another $100. And when I had asked my father's like, I told him, he goes, that was another tree he was supposed to cut down and he didn't put on the list. So the guy was like, you know, this was another tree that your father wanted cut down, and I did it for him for an extra $100 instead of the normal price. And he's like, you know, your father wanted all this stuff done that wasn't on the list. And he's like, your father shouldn't have signed it, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, and now your father's making all sorts of excuses that he doesn't read English very well, which is true. My father was born in Italy, and he came here when he was 14. I mean, he went to school and stuff to learn English, and he speaks it pretty well. But he does have a hard time reading it and writing out words in English. So what my father said was, you know, he goes, I thought they knew this guy. I thought we were like on good terms. He'd done work for me before. And I thought that like he understood what I was saying. And he wrote everything down that I said. He goes, I just like looked at the list, I skimmed through it, and I signed it. He goes, I didn't read every single thing, which is like, you know, he should have. But I understand where he's coming from when he said like, I trusted the guy. Like I thought he wrote it down, you know? And he never thought that like it would have turned into like a shit show like this. So he's just like, you know, my father's like acting like he doesn't read English, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, yeah, he doesn't, jerk, very well. And so needless to say, like that tree did not get cut down because the guy refused to do it. I mean, he could have just been like, fine, just pay me the extra money, I'll do it. But like out of spite, he was just like, I'm not doing it. So whatever, they left. I paid the guy. Oh, no, another thing was, I figured like we could pay like a credit card, because you know how like some businesses like you just call their office or they send you an invoice and you pay credit card. And this guy was like, I was like, oh, do you take credit card? No, I don't take credit card. And I was like, excuse me. I'm like, I'm just asking you a question. I've been taking credit card for 35 years and I've been in business. I'm like, all right, I just asked you a question. No, cash a check. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, will you take a check? Well, your father told me he was going to pay me cash, but I guess I'll take a check. And then after the fact, when I told my father that, my father goes, I never told him I was going to pay him in cash. And I believe my father. Like, why would he say that when John and I are the ones who are paying for it and not my father? So why would he say he was paying cash when my father wasn't going to even be paying for it in the first place? I was like, all right. So I give him a check and I go, who should I make it out to? You or the name of the company? Whatever, my name, the name of the company, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, wow, this guy will like just not drop it. He was like, I kept seeing like the workers go over to like our neighbor's house. And I'm like, what are they doing? And I said to them, I go, what's going on? Like, did debris fall over there or something? They're like, no, we just wanted to go over there to apologize. And I'm like, apologize for what? And they were like, well, we had a call in our office that somebody called one of your neighbors called and complained and said, if your employees don't stop yelling in the street, we're gonna call the police. And I'm like, what? I'm like thinking, like, did they hear like my father and the guy yelling and stuff like that? No, that wasn't it. The foreman was yelling at one of their employees and had fired the guy, and the guy and the foreman and the employee were yelling in the street, and the employee like got fired and like punched the side of like the truck. So my neighbors started to call the cops. So that's the end of that story. I don't know, let me know what you guys think. I don't know, it was just crazy. Like, to see your father like about to get in a rumble. I mean, my father was like, I don't know, in his 60s. Yeah, maybe he's like 65 or 4. I'm not sure, I forget. But he's in his 60s. I know that. What else? I don't know. I know Thanksgiving is coming up. And we usually have it here at my house. My husband cooks the turkey. That's like the only thing that he knows how to make is like a roasted turkey and to roast a chicken. That's all he knows how to make. And I don't know, I'll probably make like butternut squash soup, like a bisque, and what else? I usually make the desserts. I make like apple pie, pumpkin pie. My sister makes mashed potatoes. My mother makes stuffing. And like antipasto, which is like, you know what that is? It's like Italian, like a, you know, like appetizer tray type thing. And then my mother-in-law usually makes candied yams, which I don't like. It's too sweet for me, but my husband likes them. So she makes those. And like, sometimes she brings dessert and stuff. So what are you guys doing for Thanksgiving? Like anything exciting besides just stuffing your face like I will be? Actually, you know what? I don't really care for turkey. I like chicken better. And I don't know. So I don't really look forward to eating Thanksgiving because I don't know. I'm really not into the food. I mean, I just like the dessert. Like I like apple pie and pumpkin pie. And I like stuffing, but I'm not a huge fan of like mashed potatoes or, like I said, turkey and stuff like that. But I don't know. Let me know if there's anything like traditional that your family makes apart from turkey for Thanksgiving. I always wanted to try like a deep fried turkey. Like I know people do that. I've never had it before. I don't even know how you would go about doing it. I think you just stick it in like this vat of oil. So I know it's like an American tradition, Thanksgiving, right? From when the pilgrims came over and ate with the Native Americans. Isn't that the story? Like I don't know any history stuff. But I don't think other countries even do anything unless they just like want to do Thanksgiving for fun. Do you guys do Thanksgiving in like England or like Europe or Italy or wherever, Australia or anywhere? Like I doubt it, right? It's just an American thing. Right? Is that like a dumb question? I like never, ever paid attention in history. I didn't like it at all. Now, like, I kind of regret it because I find stuff interesting. But like, you know, when I was in high school, I was like, ugh, I don't want to listen to this. Other than that, I don't know. I kind of feel like my YouTube channel is stuck. I'm like almost at 2,000 subscribers, but like, I don't know. It's like I only get like an average like of 200 views on my videos, so I don't know. Hopefully it's not because they're too boring or anything like that, or there's something else that you guys want me to do. I don't know. Like I want to keep doing it, but I just feel like, I mean, I put a lot of effort. I mean, this, like, I'm just sitting here, but, like, I do put a lot of effort into doing my videos and to make them nice and like enjoyable, and I try to have like good lighting and a decent, okay camera, I guess you could say, and I don't know. I feel like people like think it's like wicked easy to just do it, but I feel like, I don't know, it takes me like all day. And you know, plus having a baby, it takes like a lot of my time. So it's like I try to just narrow it down to 1 day a week where I'll film, and you know, I usually don't want to look like a disaster, so I do my makeup and my hair to get ready in preparation for the video, which takes some time. And you know, you gotta set up you gotta lug out the ring light and like the camera and everything, and then it's like you do the video, and then you gotta edit it, make it look all nice, and then, you know, create the thumbnail and all that. So I do put a lot of effort into doing it because I do care. And I want to make, like, enjoyable content for you guys. But it just makes me sad, like, when I don't get that many views and it's like I put all this work into it. I don't know. Anybody have any, like, recommendations or advice on, like, what I should do differently to get more views and to get more subscribers? And I do appreciate all the ones that I already do have. Sorry, my hand's in the way. And I love you guys and like how you guys comment and stuff. I just think it's awesome. Like, I don't know, it's like you build a relationship with people, and I always have like, it's my usual group of people who always comment. And I appreciate that they do that, because it's like I love interacting with people. And that they take the time to even bother to leave a comment. I just think that's really awesome of them. And for the people who don't, it's just like, don't be shy, leave a comment. Like, I like talking to people. I've said this before. Like, I don't know, I'm not a nasty person. Like, I want to be like, I don't like your comment. Unless it's like, unless somebody leaves me like a nasty comment that like makes no sense, and like, they're just being a jerk, then I delete it. Like, I don't even bother giving those people the time of day. Like, I'm not even gonna respond to them. I just delete them. That's it. Like, somebody said like I was I don't know, like a prostitute or something like that on the video that I made for like for one of my movies. Not for the movie, the anxiety movie. I was like asking, I was talking about the Indiegogo page and to raise money. Somebody's like, you're a prostitute. I'm like, okay. I don't know how I'm a prostitute because of that, but whatever you say. So, yeah, anybody leaves nasty comments, I just delete them, and I'm just like, whatever. But yeah, if you don't leave me comments and you're just sitting there watching, then leave me a comment, because I would love it. If you haven't seen one of my other videos, my unboxing, my Secret Zombie unboxing, then you won't know that that's where I got this head wrap from. Zombie Baby made it for me. It's like to pull your hair back when you're doing your makeup. And she also got me this e.l.f. mascara, which I'm trying out for the very first time. I like e.l.f. products. I don't know, so that's my makeup. It's nothing like over the top, like I said, because we're just going to the movies, and it's going to be in the dark, and nobody's going to really see me. Plus, my eyelashes stuck together. My husband does not like when I wear, I hear my baby screaming. My husband doesn't like when I wear like really dark makeup, like the really goth look with like the dark eyeshadow and like black lipstick and like the really pale skin. He doesn't like it. I know it's like an acquired taste, and you probably would be like, well, then why is he with you if he doesn't like that look? Well, when I was younger, I was really into the goth stuff before I even met him, and I kind of stopped doing it. I kind of did more of like a metal look, which was kind of toned down, which was like this. I didn't have as, like, I didn't do my skin as pale, and I didn't do my makeup as dark. So when he met me, I had like just more toned down makeup, maybe even like a little bit less than this. And then I started seeing like YouTube tutorials on how to do like the goth makeup, and like I don't know, I just kind of started to get back into it and experiment with it because I figured like I was older and I'm like, this goth stuff is not going to look good on me anymore. With like the pale skin and the dark eyes. So I kind of just like stopped doing it. But now that I see YouTube tutorials on it, like makeup and stuff, I've gotten like back into it. But I don't know, it looks good to a point, I guess I could say, on me particularly because, you know, I am older, my skin's older and like wrinkled and it just doesn't look the same. So it's just like, you know, when I do it, it's mostly like, you know, if I like do videos or something, or if I'm going out to an event, like to a show or something like that, then I'll really do it. But if I just go out for like dinner or like the movies, something like that, like I don't put that much makeup on. So I don't know if that makes me a poser, then I'm sorry, but I don't know. I just do whatever I want. I don't care. I don't care what people say. I don't care if you're like, you're not goth if you don't do this, and you're not goth if you don't do that. Like, I don't really give a shit. I'm 37 years old. Let me tell you, I'll just do whatever I want to do. Like, if I want to do goth dark makeup one day, then I'll do it. If I don't want to wear no makeup, then I'll do it. If I want to wear metal makeup, I'll do it. If I want to dress a certain way, then I'll do it. I do whatever I want. I don't follow any sort of code of like how you're supposed to be to fit into this category. I just, whatever. And like I've said before, like, I don't know. I guess I don't even have to call myself goth. It's darkly inclined, I guess people are calling themselves now. Metalhead, I don't know. I just am what I am. I mean, yeah, he says, yeah, what you are. But as far as my videos go, when I make a video and I title them, then I'll put like goth whatever or metal whatever, so it's easier for people to find. But I don't know. I don't want to get too much into that because like then I'm just gonna get riled up, and I really don't want to because we're gonna have a nice night tonight. So anyways, yeah, I gotta dry my hair, finish putting my makeup on, just some setting powder and stuff like that. So I just wanted to chat with you guys. It's just like, it's nice to do that once in a while instead of just having like a planned out video of like what I'm gonna do and like, you know, like review a product or like go someplace or like talk about a certain subject. This was just rambling about like whatever came to my mind. So it's probably gonna be a long video. So if you're still watching this to the very end, thank you very much. You must be a dedicated midnight owl YouTube watcher. Anyways, yeah, until next time, stay dark, my friends, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Can you tell the people hi with your crazy hair? Look at that crazy hairdo. Yeah, look at that smile. Give me a smile.